All right, so this morning, the New England Patriots released Cam Newton, former MVP, and they decided to go in the direction of Mac Jones as their starting quarterback. Coach Bill Belichick has said repeatedly that Newton was the team's starting quarterback, but that he had to reestablish that position or someone would have to play better than him, and Jones has done that in Bill Belichick's view. Jones finished the preseason 36 for 52 for 389 yards with 1 touchdown and no picks, playing 107 snaps, which is easily the highest total among the quarterbacks on the Patriots roster. Newton has started every preseason game, but didn't play as much overall. He only had 39 snaps. Beat those numbers. He finished the preseason 14 of 21 for 162 yards with a touchdown and a pick. All right, off rip, when I see this, it feels like they're trying to kick Cam out the league. They're trying to scoot him on up out the way. It's similar to how Tyrod Taylor, everywhere he's been, he's basically been replaced. And it's most of the time it's something that isn't even his doing. Like in Los Angeles, Justin Herbert took over because Tyrod had a punctured lung. That's not fishy. In Cleveland, he was replaced by Baker Mayfield. In Buffalo, he got him to the playoffs, and then they decided to go on with Josh Allen. So you see the trend that goes on in the NFL. I don't have to go into the whole race thing. We're well aware of how the NFL is. We've seen how a lot of these black quarterbacks have been treated. We saw how Deshaun Watson's been treated with the Texans after he talked about he wanted to be traded. That same shit didn't happen to Aaron Rodgers. You look at Teddy Bridgewater. The Panthers got rid of him for Sam Darnold. And at one point, Teddy Bridgewater was a possible MVP had he not have gotten injured that year. And this doesn't even factor in just the overall media coverage of certain quarterbacks besides just how they treated. Like you look at Lamar Jackson. Every time the Ravens lose, it's always Lamar's fault. Let the media tell it. I know I'd mentioned this before. Even in that Kansas City Chiefs Monday Night Football game last season, they said it's Lamar's fault. Even though the defense couldn't stop shit. But somehow it's Lamar Jackson's fault that the defense can't stop shit. And that he's basically playing from behind the whole game. Then you look at Dak Prescott. There was questioning, was he really worth the money he was asking for? Dallas didn't want to pay him all that money. He just so happened to get hurt, and now he got his deal and stayed in Dallas. I ain't even going to get too deep into that one. But we know how Jerry Jones really is. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. We don't know yet. We have not seen a full season from him yet, but they already wanted to bring in Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is well past his prime. This isn't anything new. I already said that. But in Cam Newton's case, you got to look at last season. They blamed Cam Newton when he didn't even have any weapons to throw to. Somehow all of this was Cam Newton's fault. I'm like, bro, he literally has no one to throw to. And then when they get weapons in the offseason, then you suddenly decide to go with Mac Jones, who ain't proven shit yet. He played some preseason games, and that's about it. We kind of saw this coming anyway. The more media got talking about Mac Jones, the more you could see Cam Newton was getting pushed on out. Then you look at Miami. They had Tua. He was starting at first, then they pulled him to bring in Fitzmagic, which you know what he does. We've seen it before on 8, 9, 10 teams now. And this was in the hopes of getting the Dolphins to the playoffs. And in that situation, I look at it and say, that's a way you could mess around and stunt a quarterback's growth by doing something like that, because you might mess up their psyche. At one point in that playoff game, 2-3 years ago, when Baltimore played the Chargers, and the crowd was wanting to bring in Joe Flacco because Lamar wasn't doing too hot. But John Harbaugh said, you know what, we gonna ride with Lamar on this one. And it turned out well. Imagine how that would have went had Joe Flacco had played that game. So the cycle in the NFL continues like usual. It's just a short video because I thought this caught my attention today. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. We are out.